Farmers, in many ways, are the first environmentalists. If you mistreat your land, if you mistreat your animals, you're not going to be successful. So it really is in our best interest to take the best care we can of our land, the best care we can of our animals, because we're going to get that back.
You can see the wheat, which is 2 weeks away from harvesting.
It's a mixed bag. Part is honoring those past generations and the work they did and the structures they built. But yet, things have changed.
Family farms across the United States are rapidly disappearing.
We have to sell out when you're only making half of what you should.
You can't farm that same way. If you don't have a profitable operation, you can't proceed.
About 95% of farms are family-owned.
Farmers are aging out, and younger generations aren't as interested in farming.
And those economic pressures have led to some farms disappearing.
It's thinking of the past, but using them as inspiration to moving forward.
I don't know what the answer is, to be honest with you, but something needs to be done.
So my grandfather, when he was in his early 80s, he had a pacemaker put in. And the doctor said he had the plaque buildup of a 20-year-old. He ate bacon, eggs, and sausage every day. So I figure I don't have anything to worry about, but I think it also is a lot of local produced products as well. Our family's been farming here in Pennsylvania since about 1720. I'm the 7th generation that has been here. I don't think there's a better place to grow up than on a farm. You know, even as a 5-year-old, I knew I was an important part of the farm's success. It's ingrained in you. You're connected to the land, to the animals. Every part about it is generational.
We were in the crop business when my father passed away. And at that time, none of the children were here helping. It was hard for us to get help.
One of the reasons I left was I couldn't stay here and watch the farm die.
We were farming a lot of acres with older equipment. You know, at that point, we severely cut back on what we were doing. Back into place before fastening it. It's bowed out. Yeah.
You know, as I've taken over the farm, I've really tried to research where our farm struggled, and that seemed to be a lot in the 1980s.
Hi, girls.
Interest rates went up to as high as 18%. It's really difficult to make a profit when you keep borrowing money at 18%.
It's only now that Daniel has been back on the farm the last 3-4 years that we've started to move forward again. We've got to change what we're doing. You have to have that knowledge and ability to start retrofitting.
The proposed solar farm made for a heated public meeting tonight, organized by those opposed to the plan.
Tensions running high tonight. Several officials attending this meeting.
If they try and tell you you want to become a solar-friendly community, Run as fast as you can.
Also, the question stands, is a solar farm even to be considered a farm?
Do not call these farms. I've been a farmer my entire life. They plant nothing, they grow nothing, they harvest nothing.
Well, we started out with 3 cows in 2006. We named them Faith, Hope, and Love. We did grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It was a great business for a side hustle. We got a phone call from a neighbor and was asked if we were interested in solar panels on the farm, doing a solar lease. And lots of discussions started happening. Leasing to a solar company as a landowner is a scary adventure. We were looking for a way to increase the income on the farm. We had to work 2 jobs. So I was a teacher, my husband worked for the city, and we were trying to find a way to bring me home so we had flexibility. We still own the land, yet a company pays to utilize the land in a certain way. In this case, the other company is bringing in the solar panels.
Farmers and landowners who contact us who have a lease option for solar development, probably half of them say, yeah, I don't know. I hate solar, I don't like this stuff. I became a farmer to use this land.
Everyone comes at that farm lease at a different angle. You have some who are looking at retirement. There are some who need to pay for college and the farm's not cutting it.
The prices are incredible. And honestly, that's what's driving their decision towards taking that lease option offer. It's a passive income. And then the question for that farmer is this: can you continue farming, and what would that look like?
After graduating from Penn State, I moved to Los Angeles. One of the things that fascinated me was the way they use goats for vegetation maintenance out there. There's a lot of places where you can't use mechanized vegetation maintenance, and I thought about that with sheep. And then I found out other people had that same idea as well.
We just gotta get going here.
So the sheep love this.
Come on, Big Sam!
We call this lamb jam.
Yes, I have heard more than once. What is solar grazing?
You know those big solar fields? The grass has to be mowed. So instead of mowing it, I graze sheep on it.
I was able to learn about the little bit of solar grazing that was happening in the United States. This kind of solar, utility scale solar, and seeing grazing at scale. I saw that it worked, and it was so cool and so inspiring. Solar farms are filled with brilliant people, but very few people who come from the same background as a farmer. What's so amazing about this is it pairs the strength of one industry with the strength of another.
This is a way we can do things differently. This is a way we can be profitable.
It allows you to be a farmer and not have to own a lot of land.
Land access is a real challenge around here. It's really expensive, and it's a high barrier to entry. Solar isn't going anywhere, and these sites are going to need to be managed somehow or another. Sheep are the most utilitarian livestock.
Sheep are custom made to graze under these panels.
Cattle are too tall for most panel setups. Goats like to eat wires way too much.
Solar utility owners, operators are required to mitigate and manage vegetation. They're grazing under those panels to eliminate shading so that these companies can produce renewable energy. They love us for it because we are the most affordable vegetation management option around and the most environmentally friendly option out there.
It's not taking it out of agriculture, it's adding something to it.
Someone's paying you to feed your own animals and paying you well. That's a great business model.
Sheep have, proven themselves to be very viable partners in ecological grazing projects. Grazing in these sites really is a soil spa.
You're grazing that plant material, and then that's becoming manure. In a system that's been grazed over a span of 20, 30 years, what we're doing is we're creating a lot of organic material in that soil. That organic material is going to break down and harbor a lot of microbial life, so it's improving that soil over that period of time. So over time, you might decrease the amount of weeds that are going to take over your field, and then you have a more biodiverse system.
If sheep grazing works from the agricultural perspective, if we can produce protein, then we might have a beautiful opportunity.
I've seen pictures of sheep on that White House lawn. But to see that today would be very different.
Pre-World War II, the average American might have consumed 5, 6, 7 pounds of lamb in a year. Today, the average American consumes about a pound. A big part of that was servicemen in World War II. Unfortunately, they were fed canned mutton. It's not a very good product. It's not prepared in a manner that's going to be very good, and you're in a very poor situation. When those servicemen came home from that war, they were never going to eat lamb again. And then their children had that same mentality because they heard it from their parents.
So we have this long-term effect. Unfortunately, the numbers, when we look at consumption of domestic product, we're importing about 70% of the lamb that we consume here in the U.S. from overseas. We need to support our U.S. producers. Local means that you're supporting that family farm.
That first solar grazing contract is really just kind of like that snowball rolling down the hill. Going from 0 animals to, we're at over 1,700 and growing. If it wasn't for solar grazing, we wouldn't be where we're at. In many ways, in many ways, the farm was dead. There was no life here. There was no business here. And I know it was hard for me and my brother and my cousins to even come back. There's a lot of shame of the farm has lasted for that many years, and your generation is the one that wasn't able to keep it going.
Well, that didn't work out. There we go. I have a lot of emotion toward this land. Alrighty. This land is our family. And our kids will get to carry that on.
Good job, Brett.
To be able to cultivate that heart of stewardship in my children, I hope is a legacy that we get to pass on. teaches them how to love deeply and grieve as well. They exercise that emotion of putting their time and their effort into an animal, and at some point they're going to either pass or they're going to go serve their purpose. And so that process builds a very genuine person.
There's so much opportunity here. You know, the beauty about solar is that lifespan of that solar site, whether it's 30, 40 years, that land can be returned to agricultural use. That land stays in the family. That land helps fund your other agricultural aspects. I don't think you should work 40 hours at a job and then have to come and work 40 or 60 hours a week on your farm. I don't think that's reasonable. I think if you put that time into your farm, you should be able to have a family and support it. Seeing my family here has given me hope that this farm is going to continue. It's not going to end with me.